Hi, I'm Rob Robillard and you're at ConcreteCarpenter.com. Today we're doing a tool review on an orbital reciprocating saw by PORTER. It's their new version of their TigerSaw. TigerSaw has been around for a while. I have one and still using it. It's probably 10 or 12 years old. This TigerSaw, like I said, brand new. It is 8.5 amps. It has an 1.1 stroke, so the blade goes up and down an 1.1, which is nice. It's very aggressive. You're using a lot of the teeth of the blade, and it has 3,200 strokes per minute, so it's really moving fast. Let's talk about my first impressions. First of all, it's light. It's super light. It's only about 7.3 pounds, I think. And a lot of times, you know, when you're using a reciprocating saw, you've got to let go and hold on to something, or maybe you're reaching up into somewhere and then you grab it later, or maybe even you're just using one hand. Not recommended, but it's a reality on a job site. And at 7.3 pounds, it's pretty lightweight, and you can, you know, it's not super light, but you can manually wield this thing one-handed, which I like. The grips on it, they have these over-molded rubber grip. This is nice, especially if the tool gets hot or if your hands get a little sweaty. And the trigger grip is super comfortable. The trigger itself is wide enough to operate with 2 fingers, so you're not just using 1 finger in there, you're using 2. You get better or less fatigue over time with vibration. And very, very nicely designed. If you look, it's got a nice straight line to it. The housing of the motor is nice and straight, so if you were to maybe doing some flush cutting or something, you could reverse this blade and get up close to something. For do some flush cutting in some difficult areas, or maybe against a wall or a floor, something like that. The other things I liked are the blade shoe. This shoe right here, there's a red button right there. It's adjustable, and you can pull it out to different adjustments. Why would you want that? If you were cutting something and you didn't want the blade to go too deep into something, you might set the shoe up here more, so that the 1.5 stroke or throw of the blade doesn't go into the material too deep. That's a nice feature to have. And on older models and competitor models, usually you have to use a tool to adjust that, and people don't end up taking the time, or you lose the Allen wrench. The other thing I want to point out is this, the blade collar here to take the blade out. It's toolless. You just turn it and put the blade in, and it's got a spring in it. So it's literally that simple. And the thing I like about this is, after wear and tear, or when the tool gets hot, if this were smooth, it's hard to get your fingers on it, especially if it gets dinged up. My TigerSaw that I have now, I sometimes have to take a pair of pliers. I'll show you what I mean. And actually, this is a little bit more powerful saw. I think it's 9.6 amps. You can see the size difference in these, and the weight is huge. But if you look at the collar on this, it's smooth. You know, a lot of times I've got to fight it or put a pair of water pump pliers or pliers on it and wiggle the blade to get it out. And that's probably because it's bent or it's beat up. But I can foresee this being nice, because these 2 little tabs on the blade collar give you leverage to put your thumb against and turn. So you know, you can take the blade in and out super easy. I really like that. That and the 6-foot cord. That's a nice touch. I wish it were a little longer, but that is a nice touch. The only other thing I noticed when we talk about my first impressions on the saw is it comes with this really nice spacious case. A lot of tools don't do that. It gives you room for blades, some attachments. But the only dig I'm going to give PORTER is it's plastic. It's not going to hold up over time. And in fact, when it arrived to me in the mail, it was damaged. So, you know, the UPS, FedEx, whoever brought it, you know, threw it down on another box or whatever and broke it. It's got a crack here. It's got a crack here. It's my only dig to the saw. You know, years ago, tools used to come in metal cases. And, you know, this is held up for 12 years. And I've dropped this and banged it, and it holds up to the test of time. So that's my only dig to the saw so far. Using it, it's got 2 speeds right here. This is for reciprocating orbital, and that's that's used for your most aggressive demo work, really aggressive cutting. You're not worrying about the fine cut. And then there's a straight reciprocating just back and forth, not orbital back and forth. Straight reciprocating setting, and that's going to give you a little bit cleaner cut, not as quite as aggressive as the orbital. Like I said, the flush cutting, when I was using this, I was able to get up against walls, corners, and other difficult areas. The compact design of this little saw is really sweet. It's got a nice straight line to it. You reverse the blade, and it's really nice. Tons of power. It was super aggressive in cutting and really comfortable to use. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the grip, and I liked the handle. You know, tools in the last 10 years, the designs have really been focusing on ergonomics and comfort. And if you're using a tool all day or a lot, comfort is huge. Fatigue sets in quick. The longer you can use a tool without fatigue or discomfort, the better you are, and probably the better your work is as well. Overall, I was super impressed with this. It's compact, it's comfortable, it's a no-brainer. The only thing I think Porter Cable needs to do is maybe beef up their case a little bit or go back to the metal cases. Other than that, awesome saw. My name is Rob Robillard. You are at aconcordcarpenter.com, and we'll see you at the next tool review. Take care.
Yeah.